episode of Chamber Spotlight. And I'm Karen Marsdale. I'm on staff at the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance. And I'm thrilled to have with me today a friend, Amy Hendrix, who is sort of wearing two hats today. She is the owner of Elegance Derma Spa, and she is also nurse practitioner at Reading Dermatology Associates. So that's a lot of work, Amy. It's a lot. You're going back and forth from two very, very busy practices.
Yes.
And so we decided today to talk a little bit about how both the medical side, the dermatology practice, and also your the spa side, how intertwined they become, and how really kind of important it is in a way that that you have the opportunity and the option to see both as a patient and as a client. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you know, first came Reading Dermatology Associates, and then this wonderful idea of the spa. So
when we had Reading Dermatology Associates, we definitely saw some needs within the practice. We would have patients come in and they would ask for certain services that that we had to refer out to different places, or they were getting them done themselves. So we tried to keep everything under one roof. And when we did our original building and made our move over to the old Roncos building,
which is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, and well, maybe we can talk about that too. Our expansion that's in the future. But we noticed that there were needs in the community that, you know, we can go and we can get facials done, or we can go and have laser done. We can have different procedures done at different places. But when a professional knows your history of dermatology, then they're going to maybe do it with just a little bit more knowledge behind them and pick the right treatments for that particular patient. On the upside of things, on the other side, I should say, is where we might have a patient in for just a simple facial. And the estheticians now, having been educated by myself, they know not what something is, they don't know that, but they know maybe that something should be checked. And they might even veer them over and catch something really early just because they know that, hey, that doesn't look right. Let me send you over to Reading Derm just a walk away. That's worked out nice.
That, and not to interrupt, but that is really, I think, so beneficial. As a patient, I'll say disclaimer, full disclaimer, and a client of both, that really gives me a sense of confidence and safety, if you will, because there is this really holistic approach, if you will, that you have taken, which I think is great.
Yeah, and I always say to the staff members, whether they're the estheticians, whether they're the receptionists, whether, wherever they are, every moment is a good teachable moment. So if I have something that, that, hey, listen to this story, let's talk about this, because, they may not remember it forever and ever, but when they hear it a number of times, they know what to catch. So it's kind of nice that symbiosis between both of the groups.
Right, right. And I think you have a sense of, a client of the spa, for example, has a real sense of confidence, because, there can be people that sort of hang a shingle and not really know what their, the procedure is, because some things can be relatively complicated, and let's face it, could even cause damage.
Right, absolutely.
Or not be the right protocol for that person.
Correct.
For that client.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of new things.
We do.
New, basically, I want to say new products or procedures. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So Reading Dermatology just last year purchased a machine called Miradry. The Miradry machine is used for what's called hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis is excess sweating underneath the armpit areas or the axilla. And a lot of people suffer from this. And usually they don't discuss it. They don't communicate it with their friends. They just
it's
suffer
terribly
with
embarrassing.
it.
Yeah.
And they don't know what their options are. Though there are several options. There's some prescription pills that you could take. There's Botox actually that helps under the arm, and that used to be and still is one of the standards of care. But
I did not know that.
It's very helpful, but you have to keep getting it every 3 months. It's what we used to do all the time for patients. Recently, a new machine has been brought to us called Miradry, and this is a machine that you need 1 or 2 treatments depending on the severity and how much results you achieved from the first one, but most people do well with 1 treatment. It's about an hour to 2 hours long in the office setting. We basically decrease those oil glands and the sweat glands, and we reduce the hair that's there. We reduce the bacteria that's there. And by doing that, not only it is really neat. It is a really neat procedure, and having seen all the positive outcomes from it, and really changing people's lives is a really neat thing. With this procedure, you know, kids who couldn't raise their hand in school because they were nervous about their arms, or teachers that would lean over, you know, their student and be a little bit, you know, hesitant to do that. You know, their wardrobes were different, and now they have that freedom. And that's really cool.
It's definitely huge, and just to think the technology that's available. So that's one thing that's new.
And
which
we
is
try
great.
to stay innovative with all those things. I mean, we have this one new machine, but we have a whole list of other new things that are out there that we wait on, and we see what the research is going to show. You know, is it going to be something that will benefit our community? So we're always growing. We're always going to be adding new things if we find that they are beneficial. And Miradry is just one of those things that has been a home run for patients.
That is terrific. That can change somebody's life, definitely.
Yeah.
You've been involved, and I just really applaud you, because both from the practice side and from the spa side, you've been involved with our organization, the Chamber, and especially with our Women to Women organization, which I happen to be obviously a little bit biased about. But can you tell me, do you find that is beneficial to you in terms of being able to at least get your story out and talk about, because the practice is so unusual, I think, not only from the standpoint of being this holistic approach of looking at skincare and at the other products that the spa side has, but also just the you know, the culture of the company, if you will, of people being friendly, and you know, it's not always that way when you go into a physician practice. So do you think we have helped to tell that story a little bit, or?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, you know, one of the things is that, you know, our specialty as, you know, providers in the practice, or medical assistants or estheticians, we're good at one thing. We're good at the skin, and one of the things that I think for sure that Women to Women and the Chamber has helped us with has been just kind of being able to pull together all those business pieces, you know, that we might be missing because it's not our specialty. You know, it's not, and the connections that we've been able to make, and the events that you guys have had that we've been able to get out there too, to be able to share with people who we know are getting these services maybe done other places.
Sure.
Just to educate them, you know, hey, this is what, you know, the time that I was able to do a skin cancer presentation, you know, that hey, this is what we're looking for, this is what you need to look for, because women, especially with the Women to Women group, women are the ones who spot things. Women are the ones who, you know, find the doctor for their child or for their husband. My husband says he'd never go to the doctors if I didn't make the appointment for him, you know, and so, you know, I think that is just so, you guys have been amazing. And
well, and I hope that what we can also help you with, and doing it through the ways that we've been doing it, is to kind of introduce, this is a practice that's a little bit different than what you might see in a traditional practice, because you really do, I mean, all physicians are looking at the best care for their patients, but I think you've really made a great strides in a short period of time in this community, to show that you are a part of the community, you want to be a part of the community, and that you are, you know, you're always looking for something that can help people on either side of the practice. So little tiny, I know our time is slowly coming to it, or quickly coming to an end, but tell me, so we have talked a little bit about some of the futuristic things that are happening, which are very exciting.
Right. So we're actually planning an expansion.
Already?
Yes.
Which is just, it just seems like the ribbon cutting was.
It was just, you know, it was 3 years ago, I guess, in April. It was 3 years ago. And we have, you know, slowly just learned that we need to add new providers. We have 2 great new providers that we've added that come with not just dermatology now, but they also have a history of allergy.
Oh my gosh,
which goes hand in
interesting.
hand. I mean, that's, you know, just kind of a great link to what we do, because a lot of what we did before was, you know, we would have to refer out to allergy because there was something that was
Sure.
going on in their environment that we couldn't necessarily identify. We could fix the rash, but it might come back. So now we have, you know, years of expertise in allergy as well that we bring to the table.
That is so logical.
Yeah, so in growing and adding new people into the practice, what's happened is we've kind of gotten to the point where we think that we need to add more exam rooms.
Sure.
And grow the practice that way. So we don't ever want people to have to wait 3 months for an itchy rash.
Oh.
The worst thing in the world that people can do is to lay in
Sure.
bed itching at night and say, well, my appointment isn't until 3 months. So we want people to get in as quick as possible.
Wow, that's great.
So, you know, people, you know, during the summer, you know, you identify a spot on the back and you don't want to have to wait 3 months to find out what it is.
Absolutely.
You want to get in. And
sure.
so we want to accommodate that. So in order to do that, we have to expand. So we're actually going to expand off of the back of the Ronco's building. And we might be breaking ground in the early winter, late fall. We might be breaking ground in the early spring. I don't know.
Lots to do with
We
the
want it
township and that sort of thing.
perfect. We
Yeah.
want it perfect. So, because, you know, hopefully this will be the last time we'll have to expand. I mean, I say hopefully, but you know what I mean.
Sure,
It's,
sure.
You know, it's a big project.
Well,
so.
I think that is exciting, and it just makes so much sense. Absolutely. Well, this is exciting, and thank you so much for coming in. And I just, again, I love. I don't even mind going to the dermatologist anymore. So it's really, really good stuff. And of course, the spa is, everyone needs to have that opportunity. So thank you so much for
Thank
being in
you.
the
Thanks
area.
for
I'm
having
so glad you folks decided on Berks County, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure.